Good morning. Grab your pen, paper, devices, everything that you need to get these answers. You got to get these answers. I got to get a charger so we can continue this conversation. Hey, listen, guys, it's time for the 9 at 9. Yeah, we got a different voice. We got to get woke. We got to get woke this morning. But listen, got some great answers for you today because I got some great questions in my inbox. And one of the questions that I always get is people trying to figure out who's following them, who's watching them, what's going to be the results. You hear me pouring my lemonade so that I can hydrate and jump up here at 9 o'clock and get this thing started. Somebody is watching you. You never know who's watching you. And what happens is somebody will come to you and say, how could I support you? And you're not ready. Somebody will say, how can I buy what you're selling? And you're not ready because you're too busy looking in the wrong direction. You're too busy wondering about the wrong people that are watching you. And you don't realize that your opportunities are ahead of you. Now, your opportunities may be to the left of you. Your support may be to the right of you. We're always looking in the wrong places. And when I sit down with entrepreneurs or people who want to create a personal brand or people who just happened into an opportunity or by happenstance, a passion became profitable, an opportunity came upon them, or somebody came to them thinking they had a whole lot of credibility because this person has been watching from afar. They've been watching beyond the haters. They've been watching beyond your limits or what you think is your limits. You never know who's watching you. So I've decided to do answer of the day because I get a question or two or three or many every single day. And one of the things that I do is I do consulting, helping people to create buzz, helping businesses, entrepreneurs, personal brands to use social media for business. And so if you're catching this answer, there were some before and there's some after. So make sure you like our Facebook page, 27 Answers by DryerBuzz, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also watch us, this great lemonade that I'm drinking. I make this lemonade. You know, I might happen into an opportunity there, right? But I wanted to do this answer on you never know who's watching because there are those who they just jump on social media. They create an account, they jump on all the different platforms, and then they realize, wait a minute, who are these people? Where did this following come from? I remember I was asked one time to moderate a great debate, which is what I do also as far as being a 16-year blogger. I'm always asked to MC or moderate or host or something like that. So I remember I was moderating a panel, and there were a couple people on the panel that this was my first time meeting them, and I couldn't wait to engage with them after the panel. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait for this thing is over. I got to catch them. And when after the panel was over, I, like everybody else in the audience, made a beeline for the person that I wanted to meet and network with and get to know and ask questions. And as I was weaving my way through the audience trying to get to that person, I realized there was a group of people weaving their way behind me. And I was like, oh man, they're trying to beat me to this person. You know, I got to make my introduction. So while I'm standing there talking to that person, the people behind me, I kept looking like, why are they following me? And so finally somebody said, I moved out of the way to let the person behind me talk to the person I was talking to. They was like, oh no, I want to meet you. I follow you. I read your stuff. I read your blog. You know, I'm hooked on everything that you said, and I listen to you, you know, here and there. And I was like, oh, okay. And this was, I think, one of the first times I realized or I met my following face to face, because you got to think in a blog world, in a virtual world, you know, you only engage with people online. It's not multi-dimensional. It's just that, hey, listen, you, me, and you having a conversation. Even still to this day, after 16 years of being out there, I still forget that when I leave my house, there are people 5 minutes into at 5 minutes into this 9 minutes. I forget that I'm known. I forget that I'm walking around and my face has probably been everywhere. I'm always like, why are people oddly looking at me? It's probably because, they have a whole lot of expectation and I've left my house in a t-shirt, those kinds of things. So you forget that people know you. And especially in the social media world, let me just give y'all this right here. Okay. Even though we can spend every waking minute engaging in social media, but there is a whole other level of knowing a person face to face. I went to a conference in 2012, and I never forget this, because what I consider to be one of my greatest tech mentors online, she and I ended up at the same conference, sitting side by side, and there was a wall between us. That wall of not knowing or not knowing how to engage, not being comfortable in, I don't know what it was. You know how there's a wall with us in public. We've got a peripheral vision. I was sitting there again at a panel, and somebody came up, sat next to me, and I meant to, turn and look, but I was so engaged in the content that I was consuming and the person next to me had a sneeze or a cough, and I was like, okay, the germ thing, right? And I'm like, so I never turned to engage. But at the same time, I was buried in my phone, and I was tweeting about the event. And I took a picture, and then I saw another picture online that looked very much like the picture I just took. And I turned and I looked at the name, and I saw it was her, and I was like, wait a minute. And still, I didn't turn just yet to the person next to me. I'm looking at the picture, and I'm like, did somebody just share my picture? And I'm like, no. And I look at the name, and I'm like, wow, that's my mentor. And I literally still did not turn. I literally said online, are you in this room? And she goes, where are you? And we were literally sitting side by side. And from that moment on, that's when I realized there's something bigger than this. There's something bigger than us. There's something larger to this, that we have got to get beyond some of these dimensions. And some of those dimensions are that peripheral vision. We've got to really recognize what's in our peripheral vision. Somebody is watching you, and you need to be watching somebody. And so there we were, again, sitting side by side after having probably a decade or more, and probably no, at that time, maybe less than a decade, probably a decade now. But somebody I had the utmost respect for. And because I went into that event with that peripheral vision and my walls up of engaging with people outside of social media, I almost missed that moment. We left there and went to have lunch or catch a bite in between sessions, and we ended up spending pretty much the rest of the day at lunch talking, because we went beyond the dimensions. We went beyond I like your tweets, you like my tweets. We started talking about other things that we had in common, being a mom. She was pregnant at the time. All of these different things, and how we could collaborate and so forth, and opportunities she saw for me here, opportunities I saw for her there. Somebody is watching you. And not having made that introduction before, I knew everything about her. She knew everything about me. That was social media, except for the fact of we still had this wall of us out in public and might have missed those opportunities. And you never know. She didn't know how much I admired her or how much I studied her timeline. I didn't know how much she admired me or how much she studied my timeline. And we didn't know how much we could collaborate together. And I tell you, we left there with an entire 5-year plan. Here, listen, this is how we're going to support each other. This is how we're going to attack these issues, because we both wanted to attack issues for women in tech, particularly Black women in tech. And I say that at 35 minutes over the 9 minutes. I don't want to go too far on this. I don't want to go too long, because we want to leave you wanting more. And you know that some of these answers are in the book. The book is 27 Answers to Create Buzz. And then if they're not in that book, we came back with another 9 additional ebooks to help you hone in on the lesson and the answer that you particularly want. When you download from Amazon today, you're going to get just simply the answers. It's not a whole lot of narrative. We get right to the points. 27 answers to rock blogging, 27 answers to rock social media. If you want to get like Beyonce and Oprah, we have the Oprah ebook. You can actually go, it's a webinar you can watch right now on YouTube. Look at the timeline. Look at the playlist for 27 answers. 27 answers to rock like Beyonce and serve lemonade. That one's on Amazon. 27 answers to grow your business. That's on Amazon. 27 answers to become a household name. And now we're doing 27 answers, answer of the day, where I take 9 minutes out of the start of my day. If you listen to this video, yeah, I just roll out of bed. But see, when it's your passion, when it's something you know, you can wake up in the morning and talk about it, or you can wake up out of your sleep and talk about it. You can give a lesson. Make sure that you are giving a lesson to somebody, because somebody is watching you. All right, and they're going to come to you, and guess what? You don't even have to make the sale. You've already closed the deal. You just need to say yes. I need y'all to go out there and say yes to somebody today, because somebody is watching you. This is your answer of the day. I'm Yolanda at DryerBuzz, your blogger, author, activist, and an author of all answers at 27 Answers on Amazon. So please follow the hashtag, filter the entire internet for hashtag 27 Answers. Or come on and keep buzzing with me over now at DryerBuzz, 27 Answers.